Senator Sue Serino, and today I'm here virtually with Nordelis Vega, the founder of the Council of Teens. I first met Nordelis when she reached out and asked me to serve as her advisor for her Gold Award project. With May being Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to sit down with Nordelis to help our community learn more about the Council of Teens, a student-run group working to provide teens with the platform on the issues that matter most to them. They've made mental health a focus for this year, and I'm so touched to serve as Nordelis's advisor for this project. About a decade ago, I lost my brother, Don, to suicide, and I know how important it is to destigmatize these conversations about mental health and create an environment where people feel comfortable talking about the issues that they're facing so that they know they're not alone. Nordelis, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today and to share some of the incredible work that the Council of Teens is doing. My first question is, can you describe what the Council of Teens is and what was your motivation for creating it?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. So the Council of Teens is comprised of 2 to 4 members from each district in Dutchess County. And we have monthly meetings where we gather and talk about obviously the issues that are important to us. It's also very formally run. So we have chair, which is me this year since I'm starting it off, a vice chair, secretary, treasurer, and also a head of social media. Everything within the council is actually voted on as well. So we voted on the topic of mental health due to everything that's going on this year. And we've been working closely to help end the stigma within schools, especially that's been a big thing. And then I started it over the summer for obviously my Girl Scout Gold Award. It's a minimum of 80 hours of work for the award. So I decided to create the council for it to try to initiate change within our communities in regards to how teenagers are viewed by adults and local legislation and everything.
So what made you want to choose mental health as your topic, and what do you hope to address?
All right, so we chose mental health as a topic. I initiated it for voting, but because of everything that's been going on this year, especially with schools being closed and not being able to see our friends, I noticed that it's been having a not necessarily good impact on our mental health by talking to friends and peers of mine. So that's really why I want to initiate change. I feel like it's one of the best times to do it now because everything's so changing within the world. And then what we really hope to address is to make the conversation of mental health more open, I think, definitely within schools, and to just educate our community about how these kids have been struggling throughout the pandemic. And we really want to work on getting the 1-800 number into schools to have that more accessible to students because it's such a thing that's needed to prevent a possible suicide. So we're really just trying to get the word out there and hope to better at least a little bit mental health within our community.
Yes, no, that's great. So what have you learned thus far? And are you seeing that students are becoming more open to sharing their emotions and their experiences?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like people are becoming more open. I know I've seen it by a few people who have told me some of their stories. It's definitely the stigma has been lessening a lot, which is, I think it's really good because it's something that needs to really just be addressed. So I've learned how to better, I guess, help someone. We actually held a panel discussion with 2 professionals recently as a council, really how to help someone that you might know who might be struggling with their mental health, on how to help them with that. And also we learned how our general community is doing. We launched a survey within the council that was sent out to the high schools. We got some really good data about how people have been affected throughout the pandemic and how they've been faring, and if they think they would be judged for like their mental health, which is a big thing in regards to the stigma.
And so what do you think that we can do as a community to encourage a more open dialogue? And what can parents and caregivers do to show they see mental health as a priority?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is to just talk about it more, open up the conversation for parents, guardians, and caregivers, asking their child, like, hey, how are you doing? Like, I know times have been rough. do you want to talk about it? Because obviously you don't want to force them to talk about something that they're not comfortable talking about with. But I feel like just opening up the conversation, even just on a regular day with your friends or anything, being like, hey, like mental health checkup, like how are you guys doing? I need to know how you're doing, you know? You just want to show people that you care. And by slowly just talking about it more, it helps end the stigma more and more because people start seeing that, oh, like everyone else is talking about it. That means it's okay for me to talk about it too.
I have the last one is what is your best advice to parents about how to engage their kids on these tough topics? Because that's always a challenge. So what do you think?
I think a really good thing is sharing what they went through at a time because everyone struggles with different aspects of mental health. And you have to make sure that your child knows, I guess, that they're not alone and sign them up for things if they're struggling, like them up for therapy if they need it. Or take them to, there's a lot of great organizations by take them to some of the talks that organizations may give about mental health and how to get help for it. Really just encourage them to even things up. We have the internet at our fingertips, so you can get a lot of really great information just through like looking up. And yeah, I believe, does that answer your question?
Yep. Yes, it does. Yeah, because that is always a challenge I know for parents because they don't know how to start, and and it's something that really needs to happen because it's all about communicating. I think about the challenges that you know students had, teens had before even COVID happened. I remember going to John Jay High School and talking to the kids on a Saturday, and that was a few years, probably 3 or 4 years before COVID, and they were talking about the lack of mental health help in the schools and the stigma. And I think we've done a lot through the past few years, especially with the Foundation for the Prevention of Suicide. They've really been a strong advocacy group, and that's helped tremendously. All the walks and things that they're doing, which I hope can resume again this year, now that we're getting through COVID. It helps to have everybody together, and especially people that need help. And sometimes at those kind of events, they reach out, which is great.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, through like speaking to professionals, I know at least opening up conversation with kids, what I've learned is to just treat them like a normal human being. Don't treat them any differently, like there's something wrong with them. That's not how you want to approach it. It doesn't even need to be super serious if it's just asking them how they're doing. Just like sit them down and be like, hey, like talk to me, you know? But you also don't want to be pushy with it. If they don't want to share, you don't want to force them to share anything that they're uncomfortable with because you don't want them to feel uncomfortable and then not talk to you again, you know?
Sure. At least they know you're there for them, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the key. So, well, thank you, Nordelis. I'm so proud of you. Like you're doing an amazing job, and this, of course, as you know, something that's near and dear to my heart. So I really appreciate all of your hard work and your successes. I think you're doing amazing. So
Thank you so much.
thank you.